Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Today we got ourselves a movie review of 8th Grade, directed by Bo Burnham, his directorial debut. And in this movie, we follow the life of a 14-year-old teenage girl played by Elsie Fisher, who is transitioning from the 8th grade into high school, and she's very much in this extremely awkward phase that everybody goes through, trying to be comfortable in your own skin, trying to fit in, trying to gain confidence. She makes YouTube videos in her bedroom about self-help, even though she doesn't really feel qualified to give this kind of advice. And on top of that, there's just this whole pressure to be relevant and popular on social media, and this movie is basically just a representation of what it's like to be a teenager in 2018. Even though this movie technically takes place in 2017, but regardless. So I think a lot of people might assume this would be like a comedic or satirical piece on middle schoolers in the modern day, but honestly, this movie does not really make fun of or satirize any of this stuff because it's just all extremely accurate and it's just how things are, which I really like. It's a realistic movie. It's not be like, ho, I got pimples on my face and my body is changing. Let me go on Snappy Chat. This movie also makes me very glad that I'm actually not a 14-year-old middle schooler right now, and that I'm a 20-year-old college student, so it's been quite a few years since I've been in middle school, but it was not so long ago that I feel completely detached from everything that's going on here. There are so many moments and just different elements in this movie that I just looked at and it was like, yeah, that's completely accurate. You got these 14-year-old boys complaining about how his girlfriend wouldn't send him nudes on Snapchat, and some older audiences might think, okay, that's ridiculous, that doesn't happen, but me, I was like, no, that totally happens. I've overheard conversations, and it also just kind of reminded me just how awkward and just kind of sad being a middle schooler right now is, because now you have this whole social media presence there on top of everything else. This movie is not just about growing up right now. There's a lot of stuff that's just really timeless to everybody, you're trying to fit in, your body's changing, you got acne all over your face, but like I said, there's now this whole social media element to it, and everybody's got smartphones, so it's just really taking what's already familiar and just showing what it's like right here and now. Elsie Fisher's character just really spoke to me on a personal level because I can relate so much to what she's going through. Not just some of the general stuff, but, she's a very quiet person. She struggles with being in her own skin and being comfortable with how her body looks. She wants to be more confident. She wants to go out. She wants to be more out there. She wants to fit in. And she makes YouTube videos in her bedroom, and she gets embarrassed when her parents bring it up. That one hit me on a very personal level. One of the things I really enjoyed about the movie was how it was showing the teachers and the older adults trying to relate to these young kids, like, hey kids, today we're gonna learn about your changing body. It's gonna be lit, fam. Dab. And like I said, this is a very realistic and true-to-life movie, and so the setting of the middle school, it's not this overly fancy middle school where everyone's dressed all fashionably and totally distinct. These 8th graders are dressed exactly like 8th graders would look. You got the stupid Thrasher shirts and all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's totally accurate. And just how they talk and how they behave, it's like, wow, that's really accurate, and you're bringing back a lot of awkward memories right now. So this is one of those coming-of-age stories that everybody is going to be able to relate to in some fashion. There are other movies like this, like Lady Bird and The Graduate, which relate to certain demographics and a certain point in their life. So of course, to me, I relate a lot more to the movie Lady Bird than I do this one, just because Lady Bird is a lot closer in relation to where I am right now in life, and this movie movie is relatable to a time in my life that's already passed, but this movie is going to speak to a lot of people who are going through this right now in this time period. And I don't think anybody of this age group is gonna come into this movie and honestly appreciate it. They're not gonna really, I don't think a lot of teenagers would probably get. It's gonna be one of those movies that if you're around this age group that the movie is capturing, that you're gonna come back and watch it in a few years and be like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it was like. The movie is well acted, well directed, very good cinematography, a very nice hour-and-a-half runtime, very well paced, and this is definitely a really good directorial debut for Bo Burnham. So all in all, 8th Grade is a very well-made and true-to-life movie about this very awkward stage in everybody's life, but I think ultimately it's gonna please older generations and the current one. But the current generation might need to mature a little bit before they actually watch this and truly appreciate it. So, those are my thoughts on 8th Grade. If you guys have seen the movie, note it down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.